Well, folks, we've been talking to you about these the missing black-belly sheep. Where is Barbados' national treasure, and what has Barbados received? And let me say this to you that we're making, as I said at the beginning of the show, a lot of jokes about it. Some people saying that the sheep has been curried, and we're making fun. We're being funny about it because as Caribbean people, that's how we are. We make fun of things that matter. It's hurting us, and we you know but tonight I want to bring over the seriousness of this whole thing, right? Barbados is national treasure. What has Barbados received? We're asking questions about something that belongs to every Barbadian. So, as I said, I know we put the comedy on it, but I want us to really think about this. This is the black-bellied sheep has become a Barbados national treasure. You might say, well, it came from somewhere else and came here. But it is called the Barbados black-belly sheep. It belongs to every Barbadian, not to one political party, not to a government, but to our country. That's where I want our heads to get at. I want to remind us that the Barbados black-belly sheep is one of the world's few truly indigenous sheep breeds. This breed of sheep is recognized internationally, and ours carries the name of Barbados. It's part of our agricultural history. It's part of our heritage, and it's part of our identity. So it's no wonder most Barbadians were surprised, very surprised, when under the Barbados-Guyana Agriculture Partnership, 1,000 Barbados black-belly sheep were being exported to Guyana as part of a regional breeding program. People were like, what? How do you take our national treasure? What are you doing? When did we have a discussion about this? And so that agreement formed part of what was called the St. Barnabas Accord. And it envisioned Guyana's land and grazing resources would be used, to expand the breed while ultimately benefiting both countries. But right away, that something about that sounds funny. But it was made to happen. We barely had any opposition. When Mr. Thorne went in, he was the first one, started to publicly ask about the black-belly sheep. We were doing it on the show, but with the profile that the opposition leader had, it carried a greater weight. And he brought that into Parliament. Nobody was asking it. Now, at the time when this Barnabas Accord was done, Barbadians were told that there would be benefits, right? We were told we were not giving away the sheep. We were told Barbados would benefit from increased production, improved genetics, exports, food security, and new commercial opportunities. This is what we were told. Those were the promises. So tonight we simply ask, what has Barbados actually received? Increased production, improved genetics, exports, food security, new commercial opportunities. What has Barbados actually received? And where is our sheep? Now, we're hearing reports coming out of Guyana, and at this point, I'm going to ask Dave to play a little bit of that a video by the opposition leader. And this is what happens, and you would know from Mr. Thorne, when you have a strong opposition. We are here in Barbados discussing what the strong opposition is speaking about. This is what happened. So go right ahead, Dave.
My fellow Guyanese, after a most exhausting search, we have found the missing BlackBelly sheep on President Irfan's ranch. As seen here, the flock of approximately 200 sheep of various age, breed, and stage are housed in an elevated structure with multiple quarters. Built with intention, a wide central walkway runs through the middle, giving workers easy access to each quarter for feeding, watering, and inspections. The raised slated wooden floors allow the manure and urine to fall through the gaps below to keep the pens drier, reduce disease risk, and reduce labor for cleaning. This is a type of infrastructure for a successful farm operation, and this costs approximately $10 million. Now let's talk about the value of the sheep themselves. At an average live weight of 90 pounds per sheep and $1,000 per pound, 200 sheep are worth approximately $18 million. So while Irfan and Zulfi are giving our local sheep farmers one ram,
I had about a door per ram, and then the government gave me a BlackBelly ram.
the president has 200 alone here. And just imagine how many were already sold. That is putting people first.
Yeah, we could
Moving
pause
on
it
to
right
President
there.
Irfan.
We could pause it right there. So now these are the allegations that are coming out of Guyana, right? About this these BlackBelly sheep. Now, what we are being told as well, since we just before the show started, the president has he's acknowledged, yes, I do have I have a ranch, and he said that the ranch, I'm reading here, that President Ali admits he owns the ranch and acquired it before coming into office. But the question remains, the 200, did you get to, we want to ask Ifran Ali, did you get 200 plus of our BlackBelly sheep on your private farm? Ifran Ali, did you get 200 plus of our BlackBelly sheep on your private farm? How did that work out? What was that all about? Is that a special arrangement with you and the Prime Minister? Mia Motley, I don't know. We just asking questions about what belongs to us. See? Where is Barbados' side of the story? Guyana is saying, we don't see it, but they're saying that the original flock has multiplied to more than 5,000 sheep. The little lady said she just get one. We're hearing reports out of Guyana that a lot of the sheep died. We heard that. Is that true? Where you said that in Guyana, officials, they said they have more than 5,000 sheep. Can we see them? And that over 450 to 500 farmers have benefited from the program? Is the president part of one of those beneficiaries from the program with 200 sheep? Where is Barbados' side of the story? If this grand thing is happening in Guyana, what about us? Yeah. And we understand what is being said in Guyana, that there are allegations made by the opposition voices, right? But we are concerned tonight, our concern is Barbados. Because whether those allegations prove true or false, the people of Barbados still deserve answers. We have searched the newspaper reports. I did that. Miss McLean is going to come on a little later. She can tell me I might be wrong. Government announcements, we look at the agricultural updates, public statement, and despite all the promises, we have not found any comprehensive public report We understand, we hear the promises. No public report explaining exactly what Barbados has received in return for exporting 1,000 of our national sheep. And I know we're laughing about it. When you talk about sheep, everybody bursts out laughing, but it's really not that funny. So tonight we ask respectfully the government these questions. We're asking the government respectfully, how many Barbados BlackBelly sheep remain in Barbados today? How many sheep have been returned to Barbados from the program? Has Barbados received any export revenue? Have Barbadian farmers received breeding stock from the expanded program that the Guyanese are claiming? Have we received in Barbados any meat products from Guyana? Have Barbadian butchers been trained as was originally promised? Any butchers out there? Have you been trained? Has Barbados developed the leather industry that was discussed when this program began? We remember it. We're not going to let go of this. What about the leather industry? How much has Barbados saved on imported lamb as a result of this partnership? Have we received any dividends, profits, royalties, or any commercial return from this joint initiative? Finally, can you please publish a full report so Barbadians know what has happened to our greatest agricultural assets? I don't think this is an unreasonable request. Those of you who are watching from the government, I know you're glued on, you're watching. I do not think this is an unreasonable request. Do you? Why I don't think it's an unreasonable request? This breed carries our country's name. When someone says Barbados BlackBelly sheep, they are saying Barbados. That name belongs to every citizen. And so we are not making an unreasonable request. You took up 1,000 of what belongs to us and took them somewhere, and we have not gotten any proper accountability on it. We get promises. Earlier this year, we know there's something also interesting I found as I was preparing, that earlier this year, Barbados announced an $800,000 dollar program to revive sheep farming locally. They were focusing on breeding, genetics, and farmer support. The question is $800,000 for this program. Miss McLean can help me when she comes on. Some of you viewers can help. If the regional program has been a success, why is Barbados now having to rebuild locally? Do you follow what I'm saying? They said earlier this year that there is this program, they announced $800,000 for this program to revive sheep locally. And they're focusing on the same things that they promised years ago when they took the 1,000 sheep. So if the regional program, if Guyana's program was so successful, why is Barbados now having to rebuild locally? I think that's a reasonable question. Those of you who are read and ready, what do you think? So this is bigger than sheep, you know. We're talking about accountability here. We're talking about national assets. Governments, we know that. We know this. You might not know it, but governments are temporary. But I'm here to tell you that the heritage of Barbados belongs to generations yet unborn. That's what you have to understand. And that's why accountability is a must. We are requesting information, and I wish we would stop making a comedy of this thing. Show the people the results, show us the numbers, show us the report. We want to see the benefits. Guyana can point to thousands of sheep. If Guyana can point to hundreds of farmers, thousands of sheep, Guyana can point to expanding production, then we are entitled to know what has Barbados gained. It's not just livestock. It's a part of who we are. And every Barbadian has a right to know whether this national treasure has produced the benefits that were promised. That, my people, is not politics. That is patriotism. And I know I make fun of it sometimes, but I really wish we would get very serious about this thing. This is very, very serious. Let me see if Miss McLean's mic and my mic working together now. Oh boy. Now her picture is gone. Oh Lord, she's stuck. Good night, Miss McLean. Can you hear me? She's stuck now, Dave. Well, guys, the line is open. The line is open. Please call. Okay, she's back. She's back. Let me remove this one. Let's see if this will work. Okay. Good night, Miss McLean.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing you, and we're not. Thank God. Thank God.
Well, I adjusted. I went in and looked to see what, in an effort to make sure that I had everything. I realized that there was some echo thing that wasn't echo suppressant that wasn't turned on, some fancy thing. So
right.
I laugh, but this is serious business, Marcia. I listen, fun, and I must say this to our audience. I saw the promo for the program, and I saw the question about BlackBelly sheep. Little did I know that I would receive from some folks in Guyana that exact video today. And I said, Mars is asking about the sheep, because I started to watch the video. And I said, you're asking about the sheep. Here's the answer. But I didn't realize you had some of the information. And I want to say this. You were not able to show all that was seen there in that video. And of course, we know that there are allegations. But let me quickly say to Barbadians, the allegation is that
are worth 64.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead, Ms. McLean.
What we have here is a video talking about a ranch that is allegedly owned by the president of Guyana, 150-acre ranch. Okay, it talks about a 2.2 kilometer mile road leading to this property, and it tells you that it was totally forested before, and to clear it, the cost, etc. What had me concerned is it's not only BlackBelly sheep, it's cattle, it's chickens, and a whole set of things. Excellent idea, but the Guyanese will have to look into the details of that. But you know, it just made me wonder. We have, if I come back now to these BlackBelly sheep, we have asked the government, we have asked the government's consultant to send us some pictures. We never got a picture in this country. We never got a full report. And here it is now, we are seeing images suggesting, until we are told otherwise, that some of these sheep, 200 or 20% of the 1,000, would apparently might have ended up on this ranch. And I asked myself, even if it belongs to Joe Blow, and in this case, the allegation is that it belongs to the president of Guyana. Here in Barbados, we have the Prime Minister of Barbados came back to us trumpeting a project where we were building a facility to house and distribute produce from Guyana? I will ask the question now. Was there, is there, or will there be any contemplation? That poor sheep look hungry though. Um, um, let me go. Was there, is there, or will there be any contemplation of this facility being supplied by this 250-acre ranch, whoever it belongs to? Because you see, sometimes when you start to hear these stories, it makes you ask some questions. Who is intended to benefit from some of these projects that are done in the name of the people? And therefore, I call on the Prime Minister, because she is the person who announced and speaks to. She's done it in the past. She announced in the past, and she has spoken to it more than once. I asked the former Minister of Agriculture, I asked the current Minister of Agriculture, when we look at these projects, who are we going to be dealing with? And I will ask another question. We have talked about Guyana here. I have been getting rumors out of another CARICOM state right next door, Suriname. And I asked the question, does any Barbadian own a major pig farm or pig operation in Suriname? And if so, who is that person, or who are those persons? And furthermore, are we being required or recommended that we import pork from Suriname, which may come from that facility? Because you see, it is okay for us to trumpet good governance, etc., but we also need to see it lifted off the paper. Because I am hearing all kinds of things. And there's a saying that I heard from the time I was a child, where there's smoke, there's fire.
Yeah.
Smoke doesn't come by itself. And so, you know, we are seeing these things, and they are not benefiting the people. Ghana is a massive country. So, I mean, it is possible that the president might be preparing for his, if this is his, might be preparing for his retirement. But I mean, I will say this, the same way that I got that video today and you got it at some point in time, other people probably have seen it. And it leaves a lot of questions to be asked and answered. Because while, as I said, well, certainly in the case of the government in which I serve, we were not expected to be actively involved in business while we were sitting there. I resigned from every board. I shut up the company that I had registered to run as when I left university and all of that. I operated within the expectations of the people who appointed me. But these kind of things leave a very bitter taste in people's mouths. Because, you know, we hear about all these things. We cannot get answers. But of course, if you have a 2.2 kilometer, where I lived in Black Rock was about 3 miles from Bridgetown. So you can work out that in relation to how many kilometers that would have been. And that's a long kind of stretch. So reporters can't easily get in there. I mean, of course, people probably use drones and things to take pictures. But at the heart of this, as you said, whatever is happening in Guyana is happening in Guyana, and Guyanese will address that directly. My question is, to the extent that it has possible links or connections to Barbados and a particular situation, that is the exporting of our BlackBelly sheep under some specific program that was intended to produce them, given the size of Guyana, and sell us. Sorry, go ahead. You were saying something, Marcia.
Right. When the caller comes on, we can hardly hear. Caller, good night. Welcome to the Marcia Week Show.
Yes, a blessing to you, Marcia Weeks and Marcia McLean.
Good night,
Hey,
sir.
good evening, sir.
My name is Tony Hall.
Yes, sir.
I find that there got a lot of corrupt governments in the Caribbean, and it was I did not put a lot for one of the people. But what you call a say? I find that a lot of governments is taking people for granted, and you honestly know. I don't know why the Caribbean people don't band together and come out and look to represent each other. Because any day is a change in the Caribbean of this corruption. So maybe put it to the flow. These governments is gonna do and do to realize that, in togetherness in the Caribbean, or even their own country. So these people pushing to see how far they could go.
Yeah.
I feel the more dirty agenda that these governments are all about. And it's something they don't want people because the end of the day, when we have vote, no, I don't vote for Barbados Party because I don't even have a right program, anyhow. But when the people go and vote for them, right? They vote to be loyal to people.
Yes.
And I find a lot of governments is disloyal to the people.
Disloyal, correct.
And the honest truth, I find that I don't know what these law courts or whatever doing, but I feel that less being done, but I feel more to be done.
Yes, yes. And you have a point there, because we're hearing of corruption in Jamaica, corruption it's been alleged in Guyana, so many of the different Caribbean countries. And as you're right, we're all being taken advantage of, we vote for them, and yeah. But what are your thoughts about this BlackBelly sheep before you go, caller?
Well, basically, right? Yeah, it's something the Bajans wants a game. Because we have no food security. What we getting giving away food? What are we giving away food? We don't have no food security.
Good question. Yeah. I know Miss McLean said it's a good idea. There's some of the ideas that they have, I think it's a good idea. I differ with her on it because right away I know that somebody go outsmart somebody. I can't say it. I can't say it. I couldn't. I just from the time I heard of it, caller, I differ with my colleague here. I always knew those sheep they're not coming back here. It wasn't going to happen. You have some countries. Barbados is the kind of country where the others, they could outsmart them a little bit. I didn't expect them sheep to come back. I'm sorry. I might be accused of being what's the word with the word stereotyping people, but I didn't see them sheep coming back. And as you rightly said, well, we don't have no food, and we take up meat, and I said, well,
they don't want to be at Barbados eat. They want none of these cannibals now.
Thank you so much, caller, for calling. That was funny. Thank you.
Okay, blessings to you. Toronto, over here.
Yes,
sir. Yes, sir.
All right, we will secure the food.
Okay.
All right. Okay. No problem. No problem. Yes. All right. Good night, caller. Miss McLean, any comment there before a caller comes in? The calls are coming in furious now.
Well, if there's another call, I was just concerned. I mean, I am not an agriculturalist. I'm not a scientist of any kind. But I was wondering, how does the BlackBelly sheep adjust to living on a wooden platform? Go ahead. I think you have a caller.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you, Miss McLean. I can hear the call. I'm so sorry about that. Go right ahead, caller.
Hi. Good night, Martin. Good night, Karen.
Good night. Good night. Good night. Yes, sir.
Good night to my law position. A couple of things. Just a couple comments. First of all, some comments related to what Jason Phillips was saying earlier, right? Yes, we had the issues in the previous elections with people somehow being bought any day, playing allegedly, and allegedly they were seen at predictor polls voting.
Right. But caller, let me stop you. Caller, can you hear me?
Yes.
There, I don't know. Are you close to a fan?
No, I'm not. I'm not near the fan at all.
Because we can barely hear. It's grating the air. You see? I don't know what is the problem.
We move to a different room. We move. I'll go outside on the patio. Let me see if that would work. I'm outside on the patio now. Is this better?
Okay, go ahead. Make it as quick as possible then. Oops. Make it as quick as possible. Make it as concise as possible.
Yeah, the concise basically, we have asked for transparency. This government is a government that pretended and proclaimed and yelled that they're going to be transparent what's going on in agriculture, what's going on in the Labor Department. The unions have failed us. The Minister of Labor has failed the people. And the former MP of Agriculture, we would like to know what portfolio he really has now, right? Promised about the carcass of the BlackBelly sheep to come back. They never came back. They can't find a way back here. But yet you have plenty calls for overruns with the same Guyana and bringing in the so-called houses that were the steel houses that were building down there and what have you. And they wasted the money in even packing a 40-foot container, right, with a very small set of potatoes, sweet potatoes, sending it all over to England just for a sample. But yet you talk security, there's no food security. So they failed in agriculture. And yet we have to hear the new MP of Agriculture speaking about that 800,000. And you don't see what's going on in agriculture. A lot of big pipe dreams, but no realities behind these pipe dreams that this government, this failure, that is as concise as I can put it. We need transparency and we need to stand up for democracy.
Thank you, caller.
Simple as that.
Thank you, caller. Thank you so much. Yes.
Can I quickly correct Tanisha Ford? Miss Ford, Dr. Leroy McLean, you should ask the question first. He's not my brother. As a McLean, he may be related to me. I don't know. I would have to check. I've known him for many years, but he's not my brother. I had 7 brothers. I only have 2 left. And neither one of them is called Leroy. So he's not my brother, but
he's not your brother.
I can still pick up the phone and find him and ask him about this shit. But just for the record, he's not my brother. He's
not your brother. Okay. But we have another caller, Miss McLean. We have another caller. Good night, caller.
Good night, Marcy, and good night, Maxine. Good night.
Yes, good night, sir. Good night. And any thoughts on this BlackBelly sheep?
Yes. Sandra Husband. She is the first minister of sheep. It wasn't 1,000 sheep that left here. It wasn't 1,000 sheep. 3 plane load of sheep went to Guyana. You know, Sandra husband to speak the Queen's English.
Yes.
You know, she speaks. She was telling the word like, fellow Barbadians. The sheep go to Guyana. They increase and they multiply. And she said, how the carcass, when the kids slaughtered them, the carcasses will be returned back to Barbados. And she talked about all these millions of dollars in foreign exchange. And foreign exchange that we'll pay to get New Zealand lamb here. Now, I got 7 Guyanese friends.
Yes.
The go they come. I meet a lot of them. Wait, hold a minute. I meet a lot of them when they came back here from Grenada. What year it was that? 98, 99. I officially got home in 99.
Yes.
And I remember, St. George Church, when it was building the police station and the post office and the community center. I work on that project with a lot of Guyanese.
Mm-hmm.
And right, I still have them, in my brain. We sometimes see them in Bridgetown. We do the communication via phone, etc. They are also tell me, they must see them, they must see none.
Right.
Like our former girlfriend down there now. And she tell me, none of them down there, she didn't see them.
Yeah, that's
I think that hurt me. Where they gone? Who got them?
Well, it appears we don't know. There are 200. Well, all we can say there are 200 black-belly sheep. It's been reported that at the
Not
president 200 with the president have a ranch. I didn't know the president had all of that.
Huh?
There's a luxury estate, 150-acre private luxury estate ranch with 200 black-belly sheep. They are there, and this president is more of a farmer than I mean, where would he get all that time? But anyway, so there are 200 of them that they allegedly that they can find.
I won't take up much time. I want to get let me get a piece of the QH. I experienced some of that. Well, I stopped. In other words, I decided to make like Saturdays or Sunday to go for my medication.
Yes.
Last week now, but the rain, I went the Saturday. I went the Sunday. When I get to the security guard, I tell you, security guy got the pharmacist. You get a number at the door, at the door when you come in. She said, have I got a ticket? No. Have I got a ticket that from yesterday and this Sunday? That the only dealing with people that had a ticket from Saturday.
Oh my God.
I said, no, I ain't got neither one of them. She tell me I had to come back Monday. So, I said, okay. I left there. I had I think I had a bar and the other ones in my pocket. The Monday morning, I get up. I went to my usual pharmacist.
Yeah.
And I asked him, I asked the prices. I said, Laura, what me got thing? Well, the price is right. I might buy my own medication. No, I come up with some conclusions at that QEH. That either I end up them paying the supplier for the medication. The IMF tell them, can't have fear, come back. Remember all of that?
Yeah.
That's a part of it. Can't have care me to me, cut medication, do this, do that. We don't know. And who's the minister of health? I don't know that. You know, I live in a country, I don't know that. Honestly, I watching you and Maxine at the mandate from Guyana. I don't know the Barbados Party cabinet. I go ask.
Right, because you only see the prime minister really.
And you know, who you come back? Tell me the minister of health.
She's that's Lisa Cummins.
Lisa Cummins, look. I like my word from Grenada. Look, go off the stage, man. You know, you turn on a computer, you turn on put them on up on the night one, get a thing. I got put in the code before you start off.
Yeah.
She put in the code and she computer yet. To start the people to work and you crash. And it's I'm telling you now, you're silly. You are a big man. You're not born in a yard. You don't spend it for no work in this country.
Yes.
Do not take any information from them to come over here and tell me. Let Lisa Cummings come and tell me. You got social media, you got CBC, you got GIS. City, do not take no information from them to come out here to tell me. I don't know you're going to be lying.
Oh, Lordy. Well,
You're going to be lying. Stop it.
Well,
What's the matter with me here in town? You know, 4 foot spirit level. I will plumb you first.
yeah.
Never hear about brass, balls, and fisherman language. You'll never see them reach tongue again.
But you're rightly saying, that you don't know most of these ministers, and part of that is because the prime minister, I mean, her figure, her position and her presence is so strong. But thank you, caller, for calling. We want to leave the line open for some other callers. But thank you for calling. We appreciate that.
Yeah.
Okay. God bless you. Yeah. Miss McLean, go right ahead.
No, I am smiling because
Listen, don't talk unless you put the password in the computer. Did you put in the code in the computer before you came on the show?
I am working, so I had to put in my password to prepare my presentation. Marcia, I just sent this to Dave because as you were talking, you see, you Googled something because I was Googling when Commissioner was talking about the number sheet. And I Googled to see the number that went. And then this item came up. It says the government of Guyana's BlackBelly sheep has grown from an initial import of 1,000 sheep in 2022 to more than 5,000 animals. But if you go and look at the commentary, somebody called Suraj Ramlakhan says that picture was from 2022. Show us a 2026 picture. This is
right, it's right there.
This is like the abattoir story with the old picture of Brazilian cows. 2 white elephants for the zoo. So what this, I must laugh. But seriously, what this is saying is that even the people in Guyana are not buying the story.
Yes.
So this issue is one that continues to befuddle us.
But Miss McLean, if I could ask you there, this is such an important thing that you brought up here. Dave, let's read the comments from the Guyanese. This is a thing. This is a we're laughing, but it's a very serious situation.
Yes.
That picture they said was from 2022. Shows
this is what one man is saying, Suraj Ramlakhan.
Suraj, right. Look at what Elisandra is saying from Guyana. The jokes write themselves. And Olney Barnett says, name the farmers and the amounts. We know who owns and enjoys those sheep. They were
further. Again.
Name the farmers and addresses so the opposition leader can visit to see what BlackBelly sheep look like in real life. Last farm he visit only had pens with bush on the steps, no sheep inside, and he was disappointed. This is from Guyana, Barbados. Those of you who drink the red juice, this is but Coretta had been telling us that they could not find them. Honorable Coretta McDonald.
Well,
somebody right here. Mutton comes from Lee.
Lethem is an area just northern Brazil. Lethem, that's a small city. No, not city, small town or village of northern Brazil. You can just cross a bridge and get to Lethem from. Try remember because I actually went across from to Lethem on a visit a time we were in Guyana.
Yeah, Dave, go up and let's see what Ms. McLean, or if we get any more comments. So does it mean that 450 farmers, Dave, had received at least 11 sheep each?
Then Debbie Pitt goes on to say, go a little further, and Debbie is saying that these sheep was supposed to be slaughtered at the meat center Barbados. How much pound y'all sent so far?
You know, we're making bad things with her laughing, but this is because it's
If
about
you do not laugh, you will cry. In all
yeah, it's
seriousness,
funny.
this is this. I mean, it. Sometimes you laugh when, I mean, just to de-stress, because this is ridiculous. Here we were questioning, asking to show, but here the Guyanese now are telling us what is not happening or what is happening. On the one hand, we seem to see that they're on some large acre farm, 200 black-belly sheep. And in fact, I don't know if you noticed, there was one picture with black-belly sheep and the black sheep. So I was saying this.
Oh,
I mean, if you want to play on words or whatever, but they obviously probably looking to maybe get into some crossbreeding to improve the quality and whatever else. No, I can, in all seriousness, I can say to Barbadians, if you want some information on on sheep, there's a Barbadian guy. I'm trying to remember his name now. Um, his surname is Hunt, and he was very much into sheep. I remember he came to Barbados and did a presentation with some young people, and goats. There's also he's not a Barbadian, he's an American born of Bajan parents, a medical doctor who used to come home as a boy every summer to St. John to his grandparents, and who has in Texas several black-belly sheep that he has. I mean, he really got into farming coming home, and he raises black-belly sheep, and he's done some breeding and those kind of things in a serious way, that if you're looking to probably enhance the meat, you know, on the sheep and whatever else. My question really and truly, and I will ask the question, somebody says if I ask Dr. McLean questions, they would probably wouldn't talk to me. He'd be very wrong to follow with somebody who might be his, well, not his sister, but might be his cousin, if he can trace our ancestry, to get offended at a question that he himself, as a used to want to be politician, would expect to ask, and he would ask, what happened to these? Can we? But of course, public officers, and even though he's a consultant, I would say he's a public officer in a sense, perhaps sometimes have to take the time from their minister. Public officers are not free to answer everything. So as consultant, he may say, look, I have to be guided by my minister before I can speak. So I would say to the person, I don't remember who was telling me that he may not talk to me again if I ask the question. In all seriousness, I say to Minister Monroe Knight, that's her name, Chantal Monroe Knight, Dr. Monroe Knight, can you give us, as taxpayers of this country, a full report on this black-belly sheep project in light of the allegations that are being made about a mega farm being owned by the president of Guyana? As I said, the president of Guyana or his family, I suppose, are free to own all kinds of things. I don't know what the rules are about investing and all that. I don't know how long it existed, whatever the case may be. But it is something that touches on a project, a national project, a project that is funded nationally, that had an impact on the black-belly sheep industry in Barbados. Because I heard you talking about rebuilding. So this, we may laugh because, you know, we need to inject some humor sometimes to bring our blood pressures back down. But we need to know what is going on. These people talk about transparency and good governance when it suits them. In the same way that we've been talking about this situation and we don't get answers, I want to say something in relation to what I talked about tonight. The Prime Minister of Barbados goes around the world talking about reparations. I have no issue with a call for reparations. We can get into this. Is something that was taking place when I was Minister of Foreign Affairs. We can talk about how it should happen and whatever. But it is ironic. It is contradictory. It is ridiculous. I can go on with all kinds of descriptors. That we have a prime minister who is on the international stage talking about these things. But here in Barbados, we have a situation where our people, and I use our people to extend beyond Barbadians, because we talk about CARICOM, because those people are in there, Jamaicans, Guyanese, Vincentians. We talk about people from, if we extend it hemispherically, we are part of OAS. People from South and Central America are in this country working under conditions which I am sure have long been known to many people. Not only have they been known, they're being raised, but we cannot get any answers, or we're now getting after the fact, what I would call righteous indignation, people jumping up and complaining. We've been talking about these things for a long time. Yeah. Similarly, if we talk about reparations, what about making sure that people who have been done wrong to by their employers and have gone through the process of going to a tribunal and repeating some of what I said earlier, cannot get the monies owed to them? In situations where some of the people don't work or continue to work in low paying jobs and all kinds of things, and you're going to sit and come and then walk around this world getting all these kudos as Barbados prime minister, this and that, and at home this nonsense is going on. We can't even get a proper answer about these sheep. How much money was spent?
Right.
What's the cost? What's the cost to the industry of not having, ironically, Marcia, I cooked this weekend.
Some lamb.
Of course. And that's the only lamb I buy.
You always tell me that.
I say so all the time. That's the only lamb
I haven't had any in a long time. I haven't had any BlackBelly.
Next time, and I usually have to ask somebody, the next time, I promise you, Dave, are you listening? I will get some and make sure that Marcia gets some. Now, if she don't cook it for you, that's another story.
I will. I love to cook.
No, because I love our local lamb. But every time you talk to people, it's like, it's hard to get. I mean, it's been a problem for years, and I thought that we would be working on that. Now, and I say to you, and I used to believe that we, with a larger physical space like Guyana, but I am concerned. What about sheep living on wooden floors? Somebody asked about the feeding of these things earlier.
Yeah. I just, I just, things like when you get into those kinds of arrangements, you would have to be very detailed and so on, to be able to get, for there to be any returns on those kind of, it's very, I somehow I just never felt it was going to work. And I mean, they know it's not working. If you notice, there's something I talked about, this $800 program that they have now. They said they talked about it earlier this year. People can go and research it to revive the sheep farming locally. And if that program was a success, which we know it's not a success, they know it. They know it, Miss McLean, that it's not a success. If that program was a success,
it'll be all over the place.
You think that they would be having, why would they be trying to rebuild locally now and doing the same thing? Because that program that they're now starting, this new program in Barbados, it's focused on breeding, genetics, and farmer support. Some of the same promises that were made with the regional program. So obviously, it's not working. They're coming up with another program, and they're spending we don't, as you read, we said we don't know much money. It's 1,000 sheep. You know how much money that must be to ship them?
Marcia, I have to give you a laugh. Somebody here said Guyana now start producing BlackBelly sheep in tin.
In tin. No, because that's how I feel. I mean, I feel that, if this is something that is so precious to Barbados, I don't know if that was the best solution. But that's just me with my lay knowledge. I just didn't buy it. But we are 9:59, and as you said, sometimes the matter is serious, but
Mm-hmm.
as somebody who's I come from a patriotic background, and for me, this is very, this is like, I can't imagine. I can't imagine them doing this. I can't imagine it. And the fact that there's nothing, they refuse to tell us the truth. They refuse to show us the pictures of the 5,000 sheep.
Well, we are not the only ones asking the question. No, what we've seen some pictures of sheep. One lady said she got one. She said, or a couple, or
We have to laugh. Miss McGill, these people, there's a 450 farmers. But Coretta McDonald had been telling us that the sheep, that they're not there.
well, I heard from somebody who went home to his country that people, because at the end of Ramadan there's a meal. No, serious. There's a meal of rice and lamb. I remember being served it at the end. So the person told me that many of them were eaten. No, this is from a Guyanese who lives in Barbados. So maybe some were eaten, some were kept for breeding. But ironically, I was one of the last times I was in Guyana, just around the time they were talking about this. I actually saw a flock of black-belly sheep. So I mean, people probably have had some before. Now, when I saw those, that was in the early days of, I would have to look back in my passport to see the exact month that I was there. But this is a serious matter, because clearly, as you can see from that arrangement, the ability, because this is another question. No, this is for the agriculturalists in our midst. What do you see as the challenge or the challenges to raising sheep in the way that they have to? Because one of the things that was said to me is that in a lot of places, because of the fact that a lot of the land is often, there's water on the land and so on, that the animals will have a rotten of a sheep would have a hoofs, I suppose, of the the feet.
Yes, I heard that as well.
So that is why they put them on those platforms or whatever. Now my question is, how easy or otherwise is it for a sheep to adapt to those conditions? I don't know. I mean, this may be part of the experimentation and so on. And if that is the case, as I said, experimenting in the name of really creating a viable industry intended intended to expand the industry and everything. As I said, I am interested in the research that would be done and the outcomes, etc. But when you start to hear some of these other stories, it makes you makes you really concerned.
Yes.
So do not count any sheep before you go to sleep.
Somebody said
Instead of falling asleep, you will probably stay awake.
Somebody said that's all we're going to do tonight. But guys, as you said, Miss McLean, there is a serious part of it, but it's also funny. You have to give that. It's funny. But thank you, Miss McLean, for joining us tonight. And we will see you, I think we'll see you again on Friday night.